What is up guys, today we're going to be reviewing a game of TFT that I played off stream. Now reviewing gameplay is a great way to understand what you did right, what you did wrong, and where you can improve in the future. And I'm sure all of you have heard that saying, practice makes perfect, which isn't quite right. Practice makes permanent. So if you're making mistakes every single game and you're repeating those mistakes, eventually those mistakes are going to become part of your everyday gameplay. So to avoid that, you really want to review past games, look at what you did wrong, and try and improve those in the future. There's probably tons of things that we did wrong during this game, but we're just going to focus on a few of them in future to improve. You can't improve everything at once, so lock in on those one or two little things that you want to improve, and soon you'll be a diamond, platinum, or higher player. So starting out on the carousel, what do we want here? Generally, I tend to go for aggressive AD items at first. I'm not too comfortable with AP, so I'm looking at the sword. I really want the sword. Sword's gone. What do we go with now? Cloak. So what I'm thinking in my head is maybe a bloodthirster, something like that. Opening carousel, I always get a bit confused with all the characters running over each other, and it's just that's an area I need to improve in the future. So here we've just got two more items. We've got a tear and a rod, AP items. I don't really like them, but I've seen 3 redeemed now in the shop, so I want to get those 3 redeemed. Varus is one of my favorite units. He's great for carrying items and you can get rid of him later, transition to maybe Draven, Aphelios, some other carry. So really I want that Varus to be a carry for me in this game, presuming there's no other redeemed players who are going to start stealing Varuses from me. We got a Nico's help, so that's also nice. So we come into the first PvP round. The other player did not push level 4. So we're on pretty even ground. We've got a nice 3 redeemed buff, so we should win this one. Now he's got 2 of the same unit as well, so that doesn't really benefit him a huge amount. Our Varus should clean this up quite nicely. And there we go. We're on a win streak now, so since we're on a win streak, we probably want to push. So I'm looking at items here. We've got Locket of the Silver Lunari. That's a great shadow item for our front line. Just gives us a lot more defense. Now cuts our magic, but that isn't really a big problem for us. Our front line is not going to be doing the damage. So grab up a few more redeemed units. We slam the Locket on Leona here, I believe. So you can see we lose 5 mana per attack, but that really isn't a big deal if we want Varus as the carry. So that should make us nice and tanky now. Let Varus do a bit of extra work and we should hopefully keep our win streak. Now I probably should have pushed a level here just to make sure that we got that win streak and kept it. Thankfully we're against another level 3 player, so we're not punished for that mistake, but we could have easily been punished there. So we clean up that player, no problems. We got a nice 2 win streak going. We're going to level up, throw in another unit. I'll probably put the Leona in as well. So we'll see how this goes. Alright, so we found another Aatrox in the shop, so we throw him in with the Leona. And we got a 2-star Leona as well, which is fantastic. That 2-star unit is just that extra bit of a boost that we need to keep our win streak. So right now I'm looking at what can I go for. I could go Legionnaire as well. I'm very close. I probably should have thrown the Yasuo in there just for the Legionnaire buff, but it doesn't make a big difference in this fight. So we can clean up that fight as well. That Locket is just keeping us alive. We've got just enough damage to carry ourselves through. So we're now back to carousel. What do I want from this carousel? I'm looking at the items and thinking, unfortunately, I'm going to be last pick since I still have 100 life. So we'll just have to see what we're left with. So I'm still eyeing the sword here. Sword's gone. What can we do? Bow is what I reckon. It's an attack item. It's good for our Varus, and we got a 3-cost unit along with it for that extra bit of economy. So we throw in the 3-cost unit, make Legionnaire as well, so we've now got Redeemed and Legionnaire going for us. We probably want to sell the Yasuo here, just so we can make 20 gold for that extra 1 gold economy. Let's see if I do that. Yes, I do. So now into the next fight. We could have probably pushed a level there. Just made it a bit more sure that we'd win. It doesn't look too bad. So we've got a Shadow Gargoyles. That isn't too bad. We should be able to damage through that. Yep, we win. So we're on a nice little win streak now. 4 wins, no losses. Alright, so we're in here now. We've won 4 battles. I'm looking at going into the neutral round with a nice win streak, which gets us that bit of extra gold. I'm looking at pushing probably 5 here and getting maybe a Poppy out. That gives us Knight, which is what I do. So that Knight just gives us a little bit more defense. We've pushed 5, hopefully that's enough to keep us alive and keep that win streak going into the neutral round. So this guy has a few 2-star units, could be scary for us, but our front line is fairly tanky, thanks to that locket. So as we can see here, we've cleaned up his front line, nothing too bad. Our Poppy's down, but we've done a lot of damage to him, we're going to win this fight. So we're into the neutral round. We see 2 Luxes in the shop. That's great for us. It's a bit more shielding for our tank units. We're probably going to sell off our Riven, get that bow off her. And we're going to see what we get out of this neutral round, what we can use with our current items on the bench. And hopefully we can make something better than Arunan's Hurricane. We want our Varus to start holding items so that his damage goes up and we can start doing a lot more in this game, because people are quickly going to outpace us if we don't start making items. Alright, so we got a sword and a bow from this neutral round, which is excellent for us. We were looking for a sword from the beginning. I'm thinking an RFC on the Varus. It's a nice item for him, transitions well into some other comps later on. I can also make a Bloodthirster here, which would be great on a Draven later. But we'll just see what I do. Do I make the Bloodthirster? Yes, I do. So we want this Varus to really ramp up in damage. He's still only 1 star, so we need to start looking for more Varus units. I'm keeping my economy, which I probably shouldn't do at the moment. We need that Varus 2-starred, or else someone else is just going to come, steal our win streak and beat us. So we can see here, Kha'Zix takes down our Varus. We don't have the damage, but thankfully our units are very, very tanky. So we've got Leona here, who just mops up the last 3 units, and that's why Locket is fantastic on your front line. So we got another bow or a Shadow Tier here. We can't do much with Shadow Tier, so we go with the bow. We got our Varus 2 and our Aatrox 2, which is fantastic for us. It'll give us that little bit more tankiness and more damage to outpace the enemies. So now I'm looking at what can I do with what is on my bench. I can make a static Shiv, which doesn't really do much for me at the moment. So we want something a bit different. Maybe a Rage Blade, so we're looking maybe for a Rod in future carousels. But for the moment, we'll just sit on those items, see what they make later. Maybe we can make a tank item. I throw in a Vayne there for just that Ranger buff. The 4 redeemed isn't doing much for us. Lux does give us a shield, but Leona and Aatrox should be tanky enough to carry us. So we can see Varus really starting to do some work. And he just cleans up the enemy team. Fantastic. Nearly 4,500 damage. That's what we want to see this early in the game. So I'm thinking push a level here. Throw the Lux back in. Really, the Lux isn't going to do much for us. but it's the best unit we have. We don't have much else. Honestly, I'm not a huge fan of Lux in this current set, so I'll probably end up selling her later. Now, I think it was a mistake trying to buy any veins here. However, we still have economy, so it isn't going to hurt us. It's just we're holding economy on our bench, and we can sell those units later, so it's not a big deal. It's just a minor mistake. Vayne is not going to be part of our comp going forward, so why do I buy him? So we're back at the carousel. We're looking at what we can make with our bow and tier. So yeah, we're seeing what we can make. Again, we're last pick because we haven't been damaged yet. We're top of the leaderboard, but that can all quickly change. So I grabbed the rod there, as I mentioned earlier, that it does make a nice rage blade for our Varus. It's an item I like a lot on Varus. And we should probably slam that straight away on him. Which is exactly what we do. We get rid of the Vayne now. For the Ashe, we keep the Vaynes on our bench. We're still above 50 gold, so we're good. We should probably start pushing a level. The 2-star Vayne now, probably better than the Ashe. I would have to see the math on that. I'm not too sure. I tried to put the Vayne back in, but boomer reflexes and all, don't get that done in time. Now, thankfully, this guy doesn't have much. He has a Bloodthirster and a Redemption, Shadow Redemption on his Warwick. So he's trying to get that healing as well as the benefits from the Shadow Redemption, which also damages the unit it's on. So the Bloodthirster kind of should balance that out, but his team just isn't strong enough to get past the Varus. So right here, we're in a very strong position. I'm looking at starting to push up. We want to hit level 8 to start rolling for characters like Draven, Aphelios, some other carry other than Varus. We've only got a 2-star Varus and 1 unit on our bench. So that's 4 Varuses out of 9 for 3-starring him. So it doesn't look like we're going to get that Varus 3-star. We're still aiming for a different carry and sell off the Varus later. So here we got Thieves' Gloves. Thieves' Gloves didn't really give that unit much. Our damage is lovely and high. We're very tanky in the front line, so we easily win that fight. So we're back now. We have another Varus in the shop. That gets us that little bit closer. So now I'm starting to think, maybe we can go with a 3-star Varus. We're still above 50 gold, level 7. We've got 3 Rangers and 4 redeemed, which honestly isn't the best. Now I probably should sub out maybe the Ashe and the Lux for some other units which give us more synergy. We'll see what the next shop gives us though. So we got a cloak off that round. Not brilliant, can't make much with that. We're looking at the Taric here. Taric's nice for healing. We can get rid of the Poppy, who was only level 1. So that Poppy wasn't really doing much for us. Taric will give us a bit more healing in the front line. Hopefully keep that Leona alive longer. We've got the 2-star Lux. Honestly, not the best. I shouldn't really be putting or buying these Luxes. I don't want to 3-star her. I have a 2-star Lux now who will do some work, but I should sell that other Lux on my bench and go for something else. So we'd probably be looking to go maybe Legionnaire, get rid of the Lux, throw in a Legionnaire. That gives us another little buff. And later down the line, if we go Draven, who's also a Legionnaire, that could transition nicely over to that kind of comp. So again, we've seen a lot of Yasuo's in the shop. I'm skipping him here, skipping again. We're looking at going kind of full redeemed. Another 2-star Lux. We've got a Garen. Garen might be better than the Taric. This is where I kind of look at, what do I have? What could I put in? I should probably just put in the Garen over the Lux or over the Ashe. Because we have 3 Ranger, 4 redeemed. Get rid of that Ashe and throw in the Garen. And we've got a bit more tankiness. So we'll see if we get punished for that or not. So it doesn't look like we're going to get punished for that yet. But really, I want to be looking at getting rid of that Aatrox. Probably getting rid of the Ashe. Or at least keeping the Ashe on our bench for if we hit 4 Ranger. Which would give us a nice attack speed boost. So again here, I take out the Vayne instead of taking out the Ashe. I'm not sure that's the right move. We can throw the Draven in. Draven would be good. So I'm thinking get rid of the Draven for our Varus maybe, but we want to hit a 2-star Draven first because the 1-star Draven will just die too fast. And I'm also looking at, can I replace some of my front line with better units? So what have we got here? The opponent has a Draven, a very strong Draven. So this is where we lose the win streak. We just can't outdamage him. So we need to do something about this. And because he's going with Draven, we can't really contest Draven at this point. So we're back to a carousel anyway. We want to see what can we make that would make the difference here. So I'm thinking maybe a Redemption, Gargle a Stoneplate, give us that bit more tankiness. However, we're still top of the leaderboard. We're just going to be left with Dregs at the end. So I take the belt to make the Redemption. Redemption's a nice item, heals your units. So I'm thinking heal the front line a bit. We got our 2-star Ashe here. And I'm looking here going, Aphelios could be good. We don't want the Draven. I really should buy this Aphelios, but I have a feeling I don't. Yep. Roll right past it. So that was a huge mistake from me. At this point, we shouldn't be rolling down for 2-cost units. We don't really want the Syndra on our bench. So why I'm keeping Syndra there, why I'm keeping Draven, why I'm keeping Lux. Lux isn't doing anything for us. I should get rid of all them for economy, which is what I do. And now it's only really that Draven player who's scary. So we can outdamage the rest of the enemies. He's got so many items on his bench. I don't know what he's doing. He hasn't found his carry yet. Do not keep that many items on your bench. You want maybe max 4 items on your bench. So I'm thinking here, if I push level 8, I get more of a chance of 4-cost units and some legendary 5-cost units, so I'm not doing too bad. I lost 1 round so far, down 9 life. I can play this slow. So that's exactly what I'm going to do. Play it slow, keep my economy, and just get to level 8, roll down there. Now again, there's a lot of scary stuff here. We can see a Kale there in the back, I think. Are we going to get punished? I don't think so. We've got that tankiness, which is really carrying us through. No one's jumping the Varus, so he's still getting a lot of damage out. No one's contesting that. So at this point, I finally recognise I don't want the Lux. We're rolling down a bit for Varus. I'm not sure why I decided suddenly that I want a 3-star him. I think I was just rolling down a bit to see what I could get. And we luckily found a lot of Varuses. So I'm now 2 off the 3-star Varus. So I probably want to roll down. And we got 2 belts here. We can make Warmogs. Warmogs isn't great in the end game, so we probably don't want that. We'll probably... Oh no, we do slam the Warmogs. I think that was a mistake. We probably should have seen what we get from later rounds, from that carousel, and make a better item than the Warmogs, but it is a fairly good item still. It's not going to hurt us, it's just probably not the best item we could have made. Now here I'm making a lot of mistakes. I need to get rid of that Aatrox and probably the Leona as well, and get some better units out there on the front line. I need to 3-star the Mordekaiser, get the Rel out there. I've got 4 redeemed still, 3 Knight. Those aren't doing much for me. But our Varus is still carrying us. The problem is we're up against the Draven player again, and he mops us up handily. So Forgotten Draven can be very, very powerful if you hit the Draven early. Now I virtually never hit the Draven early, so I've never got that comp to work properly for me. We go for the Nico's help here. I just want to start getting those 2 and 3 star units out there. We got the Varus. Do we roll down for another? We got the 2-star Mordekaiser, which is excellent. We can get rid of the Aatrox. So that puts us down to 3 redeemed. Now I'm thinking Aphelios. Get Aphelios out there as well for a bit more damage. And Nico the Varus. So we now have a 3-star Varus. That is excellent news for us. So this guy has a lot of shadow items. I personally wouldn't go with that many shadow items unless you're running a Forgotten build, as they get power from those shadow items. But are we able to outdamage the healing here? And you can see that Varus just firing off consistently, doing tons of damage, 13,000 damage there. That's our main carry. We weren't going for it, but it just worked out that way that I found a good few Varuses at the end. So we probably want to look at getting a tankier front line and maybe getting a bit more damage out there. The Lux and Ashe aren't really doing much for us. We throw in the Mordekaiser finally for the Leona. So we got that bit of a bigger front line now. We still want to get rid of the Aatrox, and I can't remember if I do eventually sell him this game or not. Hopefully I do, but I have a feeling I don't. So again, our Varus just starts firing off when he isn't stunned. Just getting that damage out there. And our front line is staying tanky, staying alive, which is the important thing. And we've knocked that guy out. So on this carousel, what do we want? This is a combined item carousel, so what do we want from these combined items? And I don't make a choice in time, so we just get the Viego with a Titan's Resolve. Now that Titan's Resolve actually ends up being probably the best item we could have got from that carousel. I don't know what to do with it yet. So we still only have a 1-star Garen. We haven't hit level 8. I should have leveled there. That was a mistake from me. I have 70 gold. No reason not to level. We're against the Draven player again, who has lots of shadow items on his Forgotten, so we're probably going to lose this again. Or not, actually, this time. So the 3-star Varus and the Mordekaiser were enough to finally beat him. But if he keeps going the way he's going, that could be a tough matchup for us. So we're top 4 at least. We've leveled to 8, so I really should be replacing that Aatrox, rolling down heavily here. But I'm very slow because I don't know what I want. And that's one big problem that I have, is those endgame compositions. What do I want to see? I know we probably need a bit more tankiness. We've got a good amount of damage. I make another 2-star Lux. Lux really isn't doing much. She's got a nice shield, which does give us a bit more tankiness, but a bit more damage would probably benefit us a lot more. Alright, so nothing's really hitting the Varus. We're still winning here. Thieves Gloves and Shadow Thieves Gloves on some of these characters. Not the best. They're too orangey for me. So you never really know what you're going to get, and it might not be what you need to beat a player. So I prefer not playing with Thieves Gloves and just combining better items for a character. But Thieves Gloves can be good if you don't know what to make and you have 2 sets of gloves. Just slam them on someone and it gives you that extra little boost. So again, here I'm rolling down. I don't know what I want. This dragon has some nice offensive items for us though. So what I'm thinking is we want another damage carry. We've got like Last Whisper, Bloodthirster, Hand of Justice, Titan's Resolve. We can make some really, really good offensive items here for, you know, that extra bit of damage. Our tanks don't need to stay alive as long. But still, I really wish I got rid of that Aatrox. We got a Taric 2, gives us a bit more tankiness. Nothing that's going to really change the course of a battle though. So how do we do here? Pantheon. Pantheon there is extremely scary. We just cannot damage through him while the rest of his team cleans up. So at this point I should be starting to panic. What do we want? Do I go for the redemption? It's not going to help a huge amount. The RFC, if we want an Aphelios maybe. We don't want the Ashe, but we want that Aphelios in. We should be rolling down heavily here because we cannot beat that Pantheon player. And unfortunately, I just didn't realize that during the game. We got the 2-star Aphelios, put him in for the Ashe, so we keep the Ranger. We're still keeping the Redeemed and the Lux, but we really want to get rid of that Aatrox because he is not doing much for us. So we slam some items on the Aphelios, RFC, some good damage items there. However, we got shrouded, so we probably want to reposition after this. I don't know if I do reposition, and unfortunately we're up against the same player again. So will this Aphelios make the difference? Doesn't look like it. Mord is staying alive, but our damage is gone, so Mord unfortunately dies. Alright, so we're looking at slamming some items. We have a few complete items on the bench. We want to get those out there. We probably want to roll down for a Garen 2. We got a Rel 2, which is really good. That gives us a bit more survivability. Sell the Ashe, sell everything, make economy, but I should be rolling down probably to 30, if not 0 here. Again, get rid of that Aatrox. We've got a 1-cost unit there who's only 2-starred. That just isn't doing anything for us. So our Aphelios is down. This is the Draven player again. Can we beat him? It looks like we got that tankiness, we got the damage, so we do pull this out. So he beat us twice early game, we've now beaten him twice. We can see on his bench though, he's got a few Dravens. He's probably not too near to getting a big power boost, but you know, we're the final 3. I've got a healthy lead over the opponents. So what do I do to just keep that lead? So for some reason I thought spatula. Of course, it's always spatula. That was actually completely a misclick. I was trying to run around and I just clicked the wrong place and ended up with the spatula. But the spatula can make a redeemed emblem. So we can make one of our units a redeemed, sell off the Lux and the Aatrox, and for some reason I can't count there and try to put the spat on the Mordekaiser. I really want to be getting a Garen here. I want to be rolling down for something. This is where I really start making mistakes. So I need to sell the Aatrox, sell the Lux, and level up that Garen. So again, the Pantheon player, can we outdamage them? Probably not. We haven't changed anything about our composition. So again, they just clean us up. And now we take a decent chunk of damage there. The other player's out. So we need to do something different. And what I'm going to do is reposition. So this is actually a good thing where repositioning could win me this fight. This is low enough level that I'm hoping he's not scouting my board. I'm waiting to move my attack carries over. Now that Taric, I don't know why I put him down 1. I shouldn't have done that. That was a poor reposition on my part. Same with the Garen. The Garen is in a bad position. So mistakes all around for myself. I should have also rolled down. I should have or pushed 9 or done something. And I should probably sell off my bench. There's a lot of units I'm not using. Sell them off, make economy, and start rolling down. We haven't got a great item on this neutral round, so what do? We start rolling a bit. I'm not going to hit the Rel 3, so why I've bought Rel, beyond me. All I need is the Garen and to replace that Aatrox. So I should be looking at my compositions. What can I make? I can make Dragon Slayer, Dawnbringer, Mystic, Ironclad, Nightbringer. I'm one away from so many different buffs and I just don't go for it. So this is where it really started getting to me. And this is what kind of comes with experience. I level up. I throw Morgana in for Mystic and Nightbringer, which is nice. Gets us a little bit extra. We fix where the Taric is. Fix the Mordekaiser so he's in the center with that locket. That should give us a lot of tankiness. Moved my carries around so they weren't hit by the Shroud. And is that enough? We haven't done anything in particular except positioning and getting those few extra buffs. And now it's close. It's very close. Down goes our Aphelios, but our Varus pulls it out and we've won the game. So that's just an example of a low enough ranked game, but what I did right, what I did wrong. So what did we learn from that? We learned that my end game really starts falling apart. I wasn't sure what to do for a lot of rounds. I left some units in my comp that shouldn't have been there. After I got the redeemed spatula, and picking up a spatula was a complete mistake, but after I got that redeemed spatula, I should have probably got rid of the Aatrox at very least, put in a tankier unit. I was rolling down a lot, and I could have easily picked up some nice tanky unit to give us more synergies and really beat that guy a lot sooner. It was nice though that I repositioned in the end, and without changing my comp except for adding Morgana for the 2 extra synergies, I was able to beat him despite not leveling my Garen, despite keeping the Aatrox in. It just shows how much positioning can matter in a game. So thank you guys for watching. Please remember to like, comment and subscribe on the video. It helps me out a lot as a new content creator. And let me know if you have any ideas for videos in the future.